Hey everyone, it is August 30th, 2025 at exactly 10:59 a.m. at the time of this recording. I hope everyone is doing good. I hope everybody is having a good evening, a good morning, or a good afternoon during any given point in time that you choose to watch this video. I want to give a thanks to all the people that reached out to me over the past couple of months that I've been gone, at least these 5 to 6 months that I've been gone, that I haven't been uploading. It's been a really rocky process trying to sort of get back into the grind and get back into the mix of trying to upload in general. And I'm not exactly ready to kind of return in a sense. I'm not exactly ready, but I feel that I'm ready enough. I feel that I'm in a much better space, a much better mind space to get in front of the mic and sort of just talk about, what's been going on with me and my plans for the channel and my plans for life, period. So yeah, I really do appreciate those that really came through, the ones that hit me up in DMs, the people that hit me up in PSN, anywhere that any of you guys that have, even in the comment section, you guys are real ones, and you guys are the real VIPs, and I really do appreciate you guys for coming through and letting me know that everything's gonna be fine. And yeah, I'm not exactly healed fully. It takes a long time for healing to really happen. For healing, certain situations require a certain amount of time for you to really get over it. Certain things things take time, and essentially I think that where I am right now, where I am precise in this moment, I think that I'm good enough, or I am well enough to start uploading videos again, though I'm not exactly sure. But I don't want to waste the rest of this year sad and upset and feeling depressed off and on, feeling depressed and sadness and stuff like that. Not only do I don't want this channel to be a symbol of that, nor do I want my life to be filled with that. You know what I mean? For the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 years has been off and on sadness and rocky roads and rough times and tough times and stuff like that. I've been going through it, and it's just trying to, I don't want to identify my life with the bad things, and I also don't want you guys to get the wrong idea of my character. When I say my character, I mean as me as a person. I used to be very extroverted. I used to be very bubbly when I was a kid. When I was I used to talk a lot. I used to talk all the time. I was always really, really happy. Even back then when I was a child, I think when I was a kid, my surroundings and the people that I would be around, the friends that I would have, the family that I was around back then, it was very chaotic. I was sort of raised in chaos, and it sort of shaped me. Now that I'm older, it sort of shaped me to be a certain type of way, and I think now it sort of shaped me to be more seclusive. And when I say seclusive, I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but it sort of made me more enclosed to myself. It sort of made me feel as if you know. It's really, it's very hard to sort of explain, but basically what I'm trying to say is you're growing up in chaos can sort of like, and even through my teen years was just nothing but chaos. I mean, like even through like certain like videos that you guys can watch like from 4 to 5 years ago, like I was like very just like I feel like me back then was sort of very reactional from that chaos that I was sort of going through during that point in time, in the life that I had and the life that I still have now. Obviously now I'm a lot more mature. I can manage my mind and my subconscious and my intentions a lot better than I ever could, and it's only going to keep evolving. But at the same time, like it's like it's just trying to manage that chaos. Managing chaos can sort of be one of the hardest things you could ever do, because chaos shapes you into things that aren't you. Chaos can make you do things that aren't you. And that leads me into my next point that I really want to talk about. Over the last couple of weeks, I've lost two of my closest homies. Really close peoples. I considered them as brothers, and like they were very close to me, and it affected me a lot. It's still affecting me right now during this recording. I'm just trying really hard to not show it because I just like, it's just not something that I think is something that I need to constantly show. Whenever I'm going through something or dealing with something, does not mean I need to show it, but it's like, I don't know. But point being, right, I lost two really close homies that had lives of chaotic lives, and I'm pretty sure most people have chaotic lives, right? I mean, that's just life as it is. Life is very chaotic, and unless you give life structure, it's always going to be chaotic. But there's different types of chaos, and there's different forms of chaos that sort of form people to be certain ways. And what I mean by that is one of my friends that I really wanted to talk about in particular, or one of my closest friends that I just recently lost, that I wanted to talk about in particular. We've known each other for about, I'd say maybe 7 or 8 years, and since I was like 14, 15, maybe even 13 if I can recall. But I've known him for a really long time, and like we were really close homies, and like we were both we were pretty similar when we were kids, right? Pretty similar when we were kids, and like as we gotten older, as the years startled by, right, we began to face more walls within our lives, and our lives are pretty different, but we also had very similarities that also made us very close in a lot of ways. So there was a lot of things that he would say to me, there's a lot of things I would say to him, and we could be on a mutual understanding. Like we can understand each other in our struggles and stuff like that. And it's just something that like that forces you to sort of connect with people on a deeper level, when someone else is going through the same struggles as you, especially if you guys are like around the same age and the years go by and you guys, keep in touch and stuff like that. They're eventually going to be one of your closest friends. It's just natural for things to be that way. But basically, the chaos that he was struggling with, the chaos that he was going through, sort of shaped him to be very it shaped him to have a very wrathful outlook on life. And that wrathful outlook on life that he began to develop because of the chaos that he was going through in his life shaped him to be a certain type of way. And that way that it shaped him into began to evolve over time. And it made him very, it made me want to distance myself from him a lot of the times, and it made him very arrogant. It made him very self-absorbed, and it made him it just made him very, very insufferable to be around, to say the least. And I sort of distanced myself from him over the years. And obviously, like, sometimes you can try to get through to people, you can try to get to the ones closest to you, but sometimes you can't always reach them. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Like, sometimes you can't always, like, you can't save everybody. You can't. And it's like, I'm getting I might cut I might cut this part out because I'm getting a little bit emotional, I'm not gonna lie. But it's like, as soon as I think about those words, like saving someone, like, you can't save everybody. You cannot. Sometimes you just cannot save people. So when you try to get someone to understand from a certain perspective, from looking at life a certain type of way, to prevent them from destroying themselves, it doesn't always work. It does not always work. And it's very, very, very traumatizing for me, because I've spent so many years trying to help people and caring so much that it's inevitably destroying me in the process. And it's forcing me to go through so much pain, and just like, it's hurting me caring so much. It really is. And it's like, and I don't mean to make this video just like super duper like emotional and like just negative. Like I said, I want this channel to be something positive, and like, I want it to be like, I want this video to be a sort of a horizontal video. I don't want it to be something to where I don't want you guys to feel sad. I don't want to relay my negative experiences and emotions onto you guys. You know, I don't want that. I want people to feel better about themselves. I want this channel to be a positive symbol, and I want myself to be presented and I want to be presentable as a positive person, right? That's what I want. And I feel like the more I talk about personal things, the more I talk about the real aspects of life, real issues and real problems that people go through, it sort of makes it seem as though I am talking about something negative and controversial and stuff like that. But in reality, I'm just putting it on the forefront. I'm just letting you guys know, like, these are the things that happen, and there are a lot of things that people go through, and there are a lot of things that I go through that I don't tell you guys. And it's just a lot to sort of take in and reconstruct and wind down and, you know, bind down and stuff like that, right? If me putting it that way makes sense, essentially. Yeah, so it's very, very it's very, very imperative that you begin to understand that in the midst of things, you can destroy yourself in the process if you're not careful. And it starts in little steps. I've noticed that about myself, and I've noticed that about the people around me. It starts at like little things, the littlest things that you can underlook and not see exactly. If you're just like paying attention to the smallest things, the smallest words, the smallest gestures, the smallest actions, the things that you do your habits, the smallest habits, the things that you do that you might not come to realize until it's too much or too big, you know? Like, it's like a rust. Think of it like a rust. Rust does not happen overnight, right? It's in tiny, like, spectral little increments, right? It's just little increments to where it's like you're not going to be able to notice until it's like brown, and then it's like there are holes, and then it's like, oh shoot, like, you know, then you notice it. But like, it's important, it's imperative that you begin to understand that certain things can rust over time, and that rust can and will take you out, and not take you out literally, but it can destroy your sense of self, destroy your sense of morality, destroy your sense of, like, it can just destroy you essentially. And it's important that you begin to understand and educate yourself on how to look for those signs within you, because, you know, not everyone is the same. Everyone is different. Everyone is going through their own thing, and everyone is dealing with their own lens of life. And it's just very important. Now, moving on from that topic, right? Moving on from that subject, when it comes to my channel and my story and the characters, right? For those of you that don't know, what I have put out on my channel a couple of days ago, or 2 weeks ago actually, yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I put out a post regarding, like, the story and stuff like that, and how there is someone else trying to potentially use my characters and all this other stuff, and use it for like a Netflix like pitch and stuff like that. Like, they pitched an idea to Netflix, and they're trying to get the story that they're working on out there. And essentially, the problem that I had with that, right, wasn't the fact that they were trying to make a story. It was the fact that they were trying to use some of my characters to do so. And though haven't given them permission to do so, I've told them repeatedly not to do so, and they persist on doing it anyway. That is why I was debating on uploading a singular video about the situation at hand. And I mean, I have the video, right? I have the video. I never uploaded it because I didn't have proof at that time, it like concrete proof. But I do now have concrete proof of whatever it is they're trying to do, or trying to potentially do with their story and stuff like that. I avoided mentioning their name or anything like that, and trying to make, and also another reason why I didn't want to actually upload that video is because, like, I wasn't trying to put on the forefront to make it seem as if I'm like the aggressor in all of this, you know. But when you have a passion for something, and you have a very, very strong ambition for something, if you have a sense of something that gives you happiness, right? Because that's really all the story of Righteous is. It's my internalization, outputted external, and it is pretty much like working on that story, making characters, and like writing their back lore, and like creating their designs and stuff. That's really like my main like happiness. Like, that's really like the main thing that I find, and that I have happiness in. That the main thing that gives me happiness, essentially, it is like one of the only things that I really work on a lot. It's all I really do, and that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to really lock down on it even harder, as of late, because of the fact that like I don't want to be sad and stuff like that, and then like not have motivation, and kind of waste away the months that I could have been working on something. It's just not very ideal, and I don't see a point in me not doing anything despite the fact that I am going through something, right? I still want to be able to work on this and still work on the characters and stuff, and still be able to do something with my time, instead of just being sad and just not doing anything. It's not ideal. It's not something that I want to do. But at the same time, it's just having someone trying to capitalize off of my work, my partial work, right? Because if they're trying to use certain characters for their story that are mine, that I've built, characters that I've put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into to create and stuff like that, that's you're stealing from me at that point. You're stealing from me, and not only are you stealing from me blatantly, you're stealing from my happiness. You're stealing from something that I've put too much time and effort and work and love into, and I just don't appreciate it. I don't. And it's just not right. It's not right at all. It's just not okay, because for obvious reasons, if that person tells you to not do something with their product, you just shouldn't do it. And it's just that simple. And I just don't think there's much else to it. There's not much else, anything to it and anything like that. As far as me uploading that video, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I wanted to come back with a video that like better better explaining myself and where I've been and stuff like that, and I didn't want to come back with a video about me talking about someone else and like stuff like that. I figured it'd be better for me to briefly talk about it here, and then just go about it in that sense. But yeah, I don't know, there's so many things that I want to talk about. But as far as the person that, like I said, has been trying to use my characters and stuff like that to pitch an idea and everything like that, I wish you the best for your story, and doing what you're doing. I think that for you to be in the position that you're in to put out an idea for a story in general, you're in a phenomenal position. That's fantastic. That's great. That's great. Good luck to you. But as far as you using my characters, I don't condone that. I don't appreciate it, because full well that that's gonna get in the way of my creation and what I want to do with my story and my plans and stuff like that. So again, for anyone that hasn't seen my community post about that, I recommend you, or I could just read it here, but essentially, any characters that you see on my main channel, with all my playlists and stuff like that, with all my character playlists like Mariah, Ray, Celine, Mylu, all those characters that you see on the channel that I've made playlists for and that I've made videos for the last like 4 to 5 years, those are, if you see them anywhere else, they're I didn't give them permission to use them. Just FYI to anyone that is trying to really look into that situation a bit more to see what I mean. I didn't give that person permission. I didn't give anyone else permission either. So if you see any of these characters that you see on my channel, on someone else's channel, they're not theirs. They're not their characters. So just FYI, all the character playlists that you see, like Mariah, Ray, Mylu, Uriel, Shin, and Celine, and some other characters too, like Faye and Kiro and stuff like that, but my newer characters. But any other character that you see on the channel that I have playlists for and stuff like that, and that I've posted on my community tab, if you see them anywhere else but here, they're being used without my consent. I did not give them permission to use them. So just FYI to anyone else that sees these characters anywhere else. Moving on from that, my plans for the channel. I put out a community post as well, a day or so, 2 days ago, and basically I asked you guys if you guys would be cool or how would you guys feel, essentially, because at the end of the day it's up to me, but I wanted to get the public's opinion. I wanted to get like the public's reaction to how you guys would feel if I just like uploaded like gameplay videos with the cam, because that's what I eventually plan to do on the channel. My living situation has changed, so it's very hard for me to record even right now. I'm taking the time to like take advantage of a time frame to record when I know it's quiet and there's no one else around. But yeah, it's really hard for me to record gameplay videos now, but in the near future, right, I do insist on in planning to get gameplay videos out of different games and stuff like that, and just sort of experiment with the channel, see what does well, see what you guys like, see what I like as well, like see what I enjoy doing. I kind of want to expand away from Xeno for a little while. I'll still be making Xenoverse videos here and there, especially with the characters and stuff like that, but then again, even with the characters, there are other methods that I go about as far as character videos. Like I don't think me doing the story on, or the righteous story on Xenoverse is doing it justice, because it's not. It's just not fully doing it to where it needs to be. I think that in order for righteous to have its full on what word do I want to use? Full on glory, right? I think that's the right word I want to use. But the full on glory that I want to use for righteous is, or I guess I could use like respect. I don't know. The position that righteous needs to be in, I think doing it on a game isn't doing it justice. And I think me doing and explaining the lore and talking about the lore and other methods other than Xenoverse is just the right way to go, because then again, these are not Dragon Ball characters, these are not Xenoverse characters, as you guys can probably tell. These are entirely just OCs in of themselves. Like they're not even like, they have nothing to do with Dragon Ball. But then again, who knows, you never know what happens. But I really wanted to come on here and just explain the surface level things to you guys. I don't want to make this video too long. I know we're reaching like 30 minutes. Hopefully you guys learned something from this, and I just think that moving forward, I really want to make this channel a better place. I want to make this channel I want to be like, I myself I want to set an example. I want to set an example myself, and I want this channel to be something of an example as well. And moving forward, I want my actions to accommodate to that, and I want the channel's actions to also accommodate to that. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming by and stopping by and checking up on me when you guys do. I really do appreciate you guys. I don't know when my next video will be out. I don't even know what this video's thumbnail is going to be, but I'll eventually figure that out. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, even if it was a little bit. I know that this video was mostly sort of dark in a sense, but hopefully it's not too dark. But I'll say that to say this, Stay positive, you guys. Stay positive, and I'll be back. Love you guys.